Picture this. You're currently picked out for 3 solid months. Your crews are fully mobilized across, 3 different sites. The material deliveries are actually showing up on time for once.
Which is a miracle in itself.
Right, an absolute miracle. And your phone is just ringing off the hook with new inquiries. You are absolutely slammed.
Yeah, you're in the thick of it.
Exactly. So you do what makes perfect sense in the moment, right? You stop posting online, you stop going to local networking events, you just completely halt all your marketing efforts.
Because you don't need the work right now.
You don't need it, and you definitely do not have the time to deal with it. But then you fast forward 6 months, the current projects have wrapped, the final invoices are paid, and suddenly you're sitting in your truck staring at a completely empty pipeline.
Wondering where all those leads went.
Yeah.
It is a terrifying moment for any business owner. I mean, the silence of a phone that isn't ringing is utterly deafening, especially when you have, next week's payroll to meet and those heavy equipment leases are coming due.
Okay, let's unpack this, because today's mission is really all about bandwidth. We're exploring why being too busy is simply not a valid marketing strategy.
It really isn't.
No, we are going to break down how you can actually escape this self-inflicted feast or famine cycle that plagues, honestly, so many construction business owners. And crucially, we're going to look at how you can utilize modern technology to clear out the administrative bottlenecks.
The stuff that's secretly eating up all your time.
Exactly, the time you should be using to grow the business. Because we know the reality of running active job sites. Incredibly stressful. You're managing crews, you're dealing with weather delays, tracking down subs who ghosted you. It's controlled chaos.
Controlled chaos captures the daily reality perfectly. And, before we can even discuss how to market when you're in the thick of that chaos,
Right.
We have to dissect the psychology and really mechanics behind this feast or famine trap.
Yeah, let's get into that.
Because most contractors, they live in these massive extremes. They're either completely drowning in work, putting in weekend hours just to keep their heads above water, or
And they're desperate for the next job.
right, suddenly willing to take on projects with terrible margins just to keep the lights on and keep the crew busy.
And it often feels like this external force happening to you, right? Like the local market is just inherently unstable or something.
But the reality is this cycle is largely self-inflicted.
Yeah, it comes down to what we call the 6-month pipeline principle. The fundamental reality of the construction industry is that there is this massive lag time between a first conversation with a prospect and shovels actually hitting the dirt.
Oh, absolutely.
So the 6 months that you completely stop marketing because you're busy, those are the exact same 6 months that are actively creating your next slow season.
That lag time really dictates everything. You have estimating, permitting, the back and forth design approvals, client financing, all of that takes months to bake.
It takes forever.
It does. And to back up just how critical this consistency is, Smart Business Automator's Market Intelligence Report shows a direct correlation between marketing consistency and revenue stability.
Wow, a direct correlation.
Yeah, it's not about the total volume of marketing you do in a given week, right? It's about the lack of interruption in that marketing over the year. When the marketing stops, the revenue line inevitably plummets a few quarters later.
It's like pumping the brakes on your marketing just because you're busy is like taking your foot off the gas while driving a heavy dump truck up a steep hill just because you have momentum right now.
That's a great way to put it.
Right. Sure, you'll coast for a few seconds, but you're going to stall out near the top. And getting that heavy truck moving again from a dead stop on an incline that takes 10 times the energy than if you had just kept a steady foot on the pedal.
Exactly.
But realistically, let me push back on this for a second.
Sure.
If a contractor is working 14-hour days just to keep current jobs on track, they're dealing with supply chain headaches, missing materials, putting out literal and metaphorical fires. How can they find even 5 minutes for marketing?
I hear that from contractors constantly, and it is a completely fair pushback. When you are physically and mentally exhausted, the idea of sitting down to write a blog post or launch a complex ad campaign.
It sounds like a joke.
It sounds completely absurd. But what's fascinating here is that consistency does not require a 40-hour marketing work week. It requires a shift in mindset to what we can call a minimum viable marketing strategy.
Okay, minimum viable. I like that.
Yeah, the goal during peak season isn't to launch a massive, polished rebranding campaign. The goal is simply to keep the engine idling so it doesn't freeze over.
Keep the engine idling because time is the ultimate enemy economy during peak season, right?
Right.
So let's talk about what that idling engine actually looks like in practice. We are talking about a 30-minute weekly toolkit.
Just 30 minutes.
Specific, highly targeted, low-effort strategies that keep leads flowing without pulling you off the job site. First up, job site content.
Yes.
This is about turning the daily, raw, muddy work your crews are already doing into social media posts. You don't need a production crew. You just pull out your phone, take a picture of the framing going up, and hit post.
It lowers the barrier to entry significantly. If it takes more than one click, a busy contractor simply will not do it.
Totally.
Which brings us to another massive piece of this low-effort toolkit, Google Business Profile Optimization.
Oh, this is huge.
This is the mechanism that generates local leads while you sleep. Taking just 5 minutes a week to upload a raw photo of a completed project with the specific location tagged, it signals to Google's algorithm that you are an active local business.
So when someone in that zip code searches for a contractor, your continuous activity kind of pushes you to the top of the map pack.
Exactly. It's so simple, but so effective.
And then there are referral systems. So many contractors rely heavily on referrals, but they make it this awkward direct ask at the very end of a job.
Standing in a client's driveway saying, "Hey, do you know anyone else who needs a deck?"
Yeah, it's so uncomfortable. Instead, you activate happy clients by building it into your process automatically. You set up an automated email that goes out exactly 30 days after project completion, asking for a review or a referral while they're still enjoying that honeymoon phase of their new build.
That timing is crucial.
Right. And speaking of emails, email marketing doesn't have to be a flashy, professionally designed newsletter. Just a simple monthly text-based update with a few photos of what you're working on keeps your construction business top of mind for past clients and prospects.
And, for those brutal stretches when you are truly too busy to even snap a photo or send that monthly update, this is where building a content backlog during your slow periods saves you.
The backlog.
Yeah, when it's the dead of winter or you have an unexpected gap in the schedule, you batch create content. You write the emails, select the photos, draft the posts. You build this reservoir of marketing material that automatically feeds your engine when you're physically incapable of creating anything new.
Let me challenge this idea of just snapping quick, raw photos on the job site, though.
Okay.
Is raw job site content really enough to win high-ticket jobs? I mean, don't prospective clients only want to see the shiny, polished, finished product? I feel like people want those architectural digest-style photos rather than the messy middle of a build with sawdust everywhere, exposed wiring, and, half-finished drywall.
That is probably the single most common misconception in construction marketing.
Really?
Yeah. The messy middle is arguably more important than the polished finish, and it really comes down to the psychology of trust.
Okay, how so?
Showing the behind-the-scenes reality, the perfectly clean framing, the meticulously organized wiring, the care your team takes in laying a level foundation, it proves your expertise. It demonstrates transparency.
That makes sense.
A finished photo just shows a pretty kitchen that anyone could have built, right? But a photo of your crew taking the time to sweep the subfloor before laying down underlayment that builds deep, unspoken trust. Future clients see the invisible craftsmanship that eventually gets covered up by drywall.
Wow. Yeah. You're selling the process and the competence, not just the glossy aftermath.
Exactly.
But let's say a contractor implements this 30-minute routine. The business grows, the pipeline stays full, and eventually they hit a wall. Even 30 minutes becomes impossible. Or they simply outgrow what organic, low-effort marketing can do.
It happens.
When you literally cannot handle the marketing yourself anymore, you have to look at delegation and paid ads.
And recognizing that breaking point is a major growth milestone. Knowing when to hire marketing help, whether you bring in an internal marketing assistant or hire an external agency, it's critical.
Yeah.
But there is a vital difference between what you can safely delegate and what only the business owner can do. You can delegate the execution, you can hand over the daily posting, the image formatting, the technical ad buying, but you cannot delegate the authentic voice and the core strategy of your company. The moment your marketing sounds like it was written by a corporate robot, you lose that local trust.
And when we talk about delegating that ad buying, paid advertising is actually a great strategy for contractors who need immediate leads without a massive learning curve.
Absolutely.
If your organic pipeline has dried up because you stopped marketing 6 months ago, targeted local search ads can turn the faucet back on quickly. But, and this is but you have to track the right metrics.
You really do.
You have to focus strictly on which efforts actually produce paying clients. I see so many business owners falling into the trap of chasing empty vanity metrics, like
Yes.
views on a video or likes on a post.
Vanity metrics are a dangerous distraction, especially in construction. Because construction is highly visual, contractors often mistakenly optimize for the cool factor, like a massive crane lifting a steel beam.
Right. Everyone loves a good crane video.
Sure, a viral video of a crane might get 1 million views from teenagers across the globe, but it won't sell a single kitchen remodel or commercial fit-out in your local market.
That's a great point.
You need to optimize for trust factors and track the cost per acquired lead, and more importantly, the conversion rate of those leads into signed contracts.
But here is the pushback on delegation. It's incredibly easy for us to sit here on a deep dive and say, just delegate it. But contractors get burned by this all the time.
Oh, all the time.
They hire a marketing agency that promises the moon, but the agency doesn't understand the construction industry at all. They use the wrong terminology. They post irrelevant stock photos of guys wearing hard hats backwards.
The backward hard hats, too.
Right. And the contractor ends up paying thousands of dollars a month for leads that are completely unqualified.
You're absolutely right to call that out. It happens constantly. If we connect this to the bigger picture, this is exactly why the owner must stay intimately involved in the strategy and the tracking, even when delegating the execution.
You can't just walk away from it.
No. You have to review the copy. You have to ensure the geographic targeting actually makes sense. Delegation is not abdication. Think of it like a road trip you're handing over the steering wheel to an agency, but you as the owner still have to set the GPS and check the map.
Okay, so if the main reason contractors stop marketing or fail to manage their marketing delegation properly is a sheer lack of time, we have to investigate where that time is actually going.
Right.
Because if you ask a contractor what they did all day, they'll say they were out building. But if you look at their actual hours, the real culprit destroying their bandwidth is being buried in paperwork, daily logs, and just relentless administrative tasks.
The administrative burden in construction is staggering. Project managers and owners spend hours every single week just hunting for the right version of a blueprint or trying to decipher muddy, rain-soaked notes from a field report.
This is exactly where the industry is seeing a massive shift. Artificial intelligence platforms built specifically for construction companies are stepping in to solve this exact bandwidth bottleneck.
It's a game changer.
And we aren't talking about generic chatbots here. We're talking about specialized, industry-trained tools that allow project managers to handle significantly more projects without drowning in the admin.
Yeah.
Let's look at Smart Document Organization. These platforms automatically tag, sort, and categorize photos, plans, permits, submittals, and RFIs, which, for anyone newer to the commercial side, stands for Requests for Information. Instead of digging through 10 different nested desktop folders, teams find what they need instantly.
To understand the impact of that, let's follow a single request for information through a normal day.
Okay, let's do it.
A subcontractor asks a question about a window flashing detail that contradicts the architectural plans. Without AI, your project manager has to walk back to the trailer, boot up a laptop, pull up the original plans, search through 3 different revised addendums, and dig into the architect's email threads from 3 weeks ago just to find the context.
That sounds exhausting.
It takes an hour.
Easily.
With Smart Document Organization, that context is aggregated automatically.
And the time savings just multiply when you get into daily log and meeting summaries. Instead of a project manager spending an hour at the end of an exhausting day typing up a recap of a 2-hour coordination meeting, the AI turns long, rambling field reports and meeting transcripts into clear summaries with bulleted action items assigned to specific people.
Right, so no one wastes time writing recaps.
And nothing falls through the cracks. Then there's document intelligence and smart search. Imagine having a massive spec book for a commercial build. Instead of manually flipping 2 pages to verify a detail, the AI extracts vital details from the specs and allows teams to use natural language to search across all project data. You just type, "What is the required cure time for the foundation concrete on the west elevation?" And it gives you the answer instantly.
It's incredible.
But wait, let me stop you right there. A spec book for a commercial build can be thousands of pages of incredibly dense legal and technical jargon. If I am asking an AI for a critical structural detail like a concrete cure time, how do I know it's not just hallucinating an answer? I mean, contractors cannot build off a hallucination. That's a massive liability.
That is the defining difference between a generic open web language model and construction-trained AI.
Okay.
A generic AI guesses the next word based on the whole internet. These specialized construction platforms use bounded context. They are only searching within the specific universe of your uploaded project documents.
Oh, so if it's not in the file.
If the answer isn't in your spec book, it doesn't make one up, it tells you the information is missing. It even helps with RFI assistance, generating draft responses for those requests for information by using the historical project context of that specific build.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Having these tools is essentially like having an invisible, genius-level project assistant working in the background 24/7. It's less like a standard filing cabinet and more like a highly trained bloodhound.
I like that.
You don't have to know exactly which folder you put the document in. You just give the AI the scent like West Elevation Concrete, and it hunts down the exact paragraph across thousands of pages of specs, emails, and daily logs.
The bloodhound analogy is spot on. It fundamentally changes the speed of communication and retrieval. And, to put real data behind this, Smart Business Automator's Market Intelligence Report highlights how these specific AI efficiencies directly contribute to operational scale.
Meaning they can take on more work.
Exactly. When your team isn't bogged down in manual document retrieval and redundant data entry, they can manage a vastly higher volume of work with the exact same headcount.
And that naturally leads us from day-to-day admin relief to high-level strategic oversight. Because when you aren't fighting the daily fires of missing documents and muddy field notes, you gain the visibility needed to actually steer the ship. This means moving into schedule risk detection and project health monitoring. The AI reviews schedules and project activity to identify bottlenecks, delays, and coordination issues long before they become expensive problems.
And it does this by understanding causality, not just reading dates. Unlike older software that merely looked at static dates on a calendar, this system actually understands construction dependencies.
What do you mean by that?
So it reads the schedule and knows that if a concrete pour is delayed by 3 days of rain, the cure time pushes back, which means the framing crew scheduled for Tuesday is going to be standing around doing nothing.
Oh, wow.
It connects those dots automatically and flags the schedule risk for the project manager.
And it does the exact same thing for the money with budget and variance insights, as well as change order impact. It gives leadership early visibility into cost movements. If a client wants to change the custom tile halfway through the job, the system can evaluate exactly how that specific change order will affect timelines and the overall budget, rather than the owner just guessing and hoping it doesn't kill their margin.
Plus, it handles the communication of those impacts through automated reports and compliance checking. It catches spec gaps early, ensuring everything aligns with local requirements, and generates internal and executive updates automatically.
That's huge.
Furthermore, the real power comes from custom AI workflows and API integration. You can tailor the AI to your specific company operations, connecting it seamlessly with your existing field tools and your ERPs, your enterprise resource planning software, which is basically the central nervous system for your accounting and inventory.
So it talks to the software you already use.
Yes. It entirely eliminates the manual data entry of moving a number from a field spreadsheet into your accounting software.
So what does this all mean? If we strip away the tech talk and the acronyms, what does this mean for the everyday contractor listening to this right now who is just trying to break out of that brutal feast or famine loop we talked about at the beginning?
It means we have to rethink the role of the business owner and the project manager. The true power of AI in construction isn't doing the work of a carpenter. It's doing the work of an archivist, so the carpenter can get back to building.
Love that.
Adopting this technology isn't just about saving an hour of typing on a Friday afternoon. This raises an important question about your operating model. It's about fundamentally shifting the entire business from a posture of reactive survival mode, where you are constantly just trying to catch up on paperwork, to a posture of proactive, scalable growth.
Right.
When the admin burden is lifted by that AI archivist, the owner finally has the bandwidth to focus on consistency. They have the time to oversee that marketing strategy, to build the local relationships, and to ensure the pipeline's full 6 months from now.
It all connects right back to the beginning.
Yeah.
You cannot market if you do not have time, and you will not have time if you are doing the job of a robot. So, to recap our core takeaways for you today, it is time to banish the feast or famine cycle for good. You have to recognize that simply being busy is not a marketing strategy. Implement the 30-minute, low-effort weekly toolkit. Snap the raw photos to build trust, optimize the Google business profile, and set up those automated review requests.
Consistency is key.
When you do spend money, or delegate to an agency. Ruthlessly track the trust metrics that bring in real clients, not vanity views of a crane lift. And most importantly, leverage construction-specific AI to eliminate the administrative bloat that is secretly stealing the time you need to keep your marketing engine running.
I'll leave you with this final provocative thought to mull over today. Take a hard look at your business right now. If you were physically unable to step foot on a job site or answer your cell phone for the next month, would your marketing engine keep running quietly in the background, generating new leads, or would your pipeline be completely dry by the time you got back?
That is the ultimate stress test for any construction business. All right, if you found value in today's deep dive, we need you to take action. Please subscribe to the show on whatever platform you're listening on right now. Rate us, leave a review. It genuinely helps other contractors find this information. Like this deep dive? Drop a comment with your biggest takeaway and share this with your colleagues or your project management team. And finally, to see exactly how you can automate your admin and get your time back, go visit smartbusinessautomator.com to learn more. Keep building, and we'll catch you in the next deep dive.